My beloved child. What I am about to tell you is not small, and it is not ordinary, because while you were living your days trying to stay calm, trying to stay patient, trying to understand the silence and the distance, someone you care about has been standing in the middle of a storm you never saw, facing voices louder than fear, facing pressure heavier than guilt, and facing a family that does not agree, does not approve, and does not want them to choose you. Yet they are still choosing you in ways that have already changed their life forever. Every night they sit with a heart divided between duty and desire, between loyalty and truth, between what they were taught and what they feel when they think of you, and each time your name enters their mind, the argument inside their home grows louder, not because you are wrong, but because your presence has shaken a structure that was built on control, expectations, and silence. You think distance means indifference, but distance has been their only shield, because if you knew how many times your name caused tension at their dinner table, how many times your future together became a heated discussion, how many times they were told to forget you, to walk away, to choose safety instead of love, you would realize that the silence you feel is not abandonment, it is resistance. They are not fighting you, they are fighting for you, and every word spoken against you inside that house has only made their resolve stronger, even when it costs them peace, comfort, and sleep. Listen carefully, because this is where the story turns sharper and deeper. While you question signs and wonder if you still matter, your person has already crossed a point of no return, a moment where they understood that staying quiet forever would destroy them more than any argument ever could. They have been standing their ground in private, choosing their words carefully, taking emotional hits silently, because every time they defend you, it creates another crack in the image their family had planned for their life. Their family is not arguing casually, they are pushing tradition, fear, reputation, and old beliefs as weapons, telling them that choosing you will change everything, that it will complicate their future, that it will break expectations built over years, and yet your person has not stepped back. They have been absorbing blame that was never meant for them, hearing things that hurt deeply, and still walking away from those conversations with one decision burning stronger than before. They do not talk about this struggle openly, because they know if you felt the weight of it, you might step back to protect them, and that is exactly what they do not want. They would rather suffer quietly than let you think you are the problem, because in their heart, you are the reason they are finally standing up for themselves. Now understand this clearly, because this is not a coincidence and it is not temporary. The tension inside their family has reached a level where pretending is no longer possible, and something irreversible has already been set in motion. Your person has made a move that no one expected, a decision that shocked even them when they realized they were capable of it, and this decision is the reason the energy between you feels heavy and intense at the same time. They have stopped asking for permission emotionally, and once a person does that, the entire dynamic changes. Their family senses it, they feel the shift, and that is why the resistance has grown stronger, because control is slipping away. You may think the delays mean hesitation, but the delays are strategic, because your person is preparing for a reveal that cannot be taken back. They are choosing the right moment, the right timing, and the right path, not because they are unsure about you, but because they want the outcome to be permanent, not fragile. What is coming is not a small gesture or a simple message, it is a move that will make it impossible for anyone to deny where they stand. Here is the part that will change how you see everything that has already happened. The emotional distance you felt was not them pulling away, it was them protecting what they are building for you both. When someone fights their family, it is never loud in the beginning. It starts with internal battles, with late nights, with replaying conversations, with imagining outcomes, and with calculating risks, and your person has been doing all of this while carrying the fear of losing you at the same time. They know that if they lose you after standing up like this, it would break something inside them permanently, which is why they have been watching you closely, sensing your patience, your endurance, and your strength. They needed to know that you would not disappear at the first sign of difficulty, because the path they are choosing is not easy, but it is honest. Every delay, every pause, every moment of uncertainty was a test of reality, not of love, and you passed without even realizing it. You stayed when walking away would have been easier, and that alone confirmed to them that you are worth every battle they are facing now. Prepare yourself for what comes next, because the surprise connected to this fight is not emotional drama, it is a life-altering declaration that will force everyone involved to accept the truth. Your person is not planning a conversation, they are planning a moment that cannot be ignored, something that will shock not just you, but everyone who believed they could be controlled or redirected. This is why the energy feels intense, heavy, and close to breaking, because once this happens, there is no going back to how things were before. They are choosing you in a way that requires courage, sacrifice, and commitment, not words spoken in secret. What is coming will make you understand why the struggle was hidden, why the silence existed, and why the wait was necessary. This is only the beginning, and the ground is already shifting beneath their feet, because love that survives resistance becomes unstoppable. The night everything shifted, your person did not sleep, because once a decision reaches the heart completely, rest becomes impossible, and that was the night they stopped imagining a future without you. While the world around you felt normal, their inner world was collapsing and rebuilding at the same time, because they finally accepted a truth they had been delaying for too long. They realized that pleasing everyone else meant losing themselves, and losing you would mean living a life that looked correct from the outside but felt empty on the inside. That realization did not come gently, it came with fear, shaking hands, and a deep understanding that the path ahead would demand courage they had never used before. They looked at messages they never sent, words they held back, and moments they almost walked away, and instead of regret, they felt clarity. This clarity was not loud or dramatic, it was calm, heavy, and final, and from that moment onward, every move they made had one silent purpose, to make sure that when they stepped forward, they would never be forced to step back again. Inside their home, the atmosphere has changed in ways you cannot see, because once someone decides to stand firm, people around them sense it immediately. Conversations have become cautious, tones have shifted, and expectations are no longer assumed, because your person is no longer bending emotionally. Their family notices that explanations are shorter, answers are firmer, and silence now carries confidence instead of confusion. This is where the real tension begins, because families fear what they cannot control, and your person has quietly removed themselves from emotional submission. They are no longer asking what is allowed, they are stating what will happen, and this shift has created an unspoken awareness that something big is approaching. The resistance you cannot hear is intense, but it no longer shakes them the way it once did, because once love becomes a choice instead of a feeling, it becomes immovable. They have accepted the consequences in advance, and that acceptance has given them a strength that surprises even them. You may feel moments of doubt right now, moments where you wonder if all this effort is real or imagined, but understand this. No one endures this level of pressure for something temporary. Your person is calculating timing, not intention, and that is an important difference. They are aware that one wrong move could create unnecessary damage, not just for themselves, but for you as well, and that is why patience has become their weapon. They want the reveal to be undeniable, not emotional chaos that fades with time. Every step they take now is measured, because they are not fighting just for love, they are fighting for stability, respect, and permanence. This is not about running away from family, it is about redefining boundaries that were never questioned before. The strength you feel coming closer is real, because they are aligning their actions with the future they want, not the one they were assigned. Here is the part you have not considered yet, and this is where the surprise grows deeper. Your person has already put something into motion that involves commitment beyond words, something that required them to choose a side in a way that cannot be undone quietly. This is not a symbolic gesture or an emotional promise, it is a real-world decision that has consequences attached to it. They have prepared themselves for confrontation, not because they want conflict, but because they refuse to live divided anymore. This is why your energy feels pulled toward them more strongly now, because when someone commits internally, the connection shifts externally as well. You are sensing determination, not desperation, and that difference matters. What they are planning will make their stance visible to everyone at once, removing the space for manipulation or denial. As this builds, understand one final truth that will steady your heart. The surprise coming toward you is not meant to shock you emotionally, it is meant to secure you permanently. Your person is stepping into a role they were never encouraged to take, the role of someone who chooses their own life with clarity and courage. When this moment arrives, it will explain every silence, every delay, and every confusing signal you endured. It will make sense why things could not move faster, and why everything had to align first. You are not waiting because nothing is happening, you are waiting because something irreversible is being prepared. What comes next will change how others see your person, how they see themselves, and how your connection stands in the world. This is only the second step, and the ground beneath this story is already shifting toward a moment no one can ignore. There comes a phase when preparation turns into pressure, and that is exactly where your person is standing right now, carrying a calm face while everything underneath is moving fast. They are no longer wondering if they should do this, they are focused on how to do this without destroying what still matters around them. This is why their energy feels distant yet intense at the same time, because they are holding back the final step until the moment feels undeniable. Inside them, the fear of losing family comfort is no longer stronger than the fear of losing you, and that shift changes a person completely. They have started imagining life after the storm, life where they wake up without pretending, life where choices are not dictated by approval, and in every version of that future, you are present. This is not fantasy anymore, it is planning, and planning carries weight, responsibility, and seriousness. When someone reaches this stage, they do not turn back, they only move forward more carefully. At home, the emotional atmosphere has become heavy with anticipation, because silence now carries meaning. Their family senses that discussions are coming to an end, not because agreement has been reached, but because your person has stopped negotiating their truth. This is when power dynamics change, because the one who no longer needs validation becomes the one others must react to. Your person is no longer explaining your importance, they are asserting it, and that has unsettled everything that once felt fixed. The arguments have shifted from convincing to confronting reality, and reality is uncomfortable for those who believe they had control. This is why resistance has not disappeared, but it has lost its grip, because conviction cannot be shaken the way doubt can. Your person has accepted that being misunderstood is part of choosing authenticity. You might feel moments where time seems slow, where waiting feels heavier than before, but this phase exists for a reason. This is the space where consequences are absorbed internally so they do not explode externally. Your person is choosing maturity over impulse, because the surprise they are preparing is not meant to be questioned or reversed. They want the moment to arrive with certainty, not apology, and that requires patience even when emotions demand urgency. Every day they hold steady, they are proving to themselves that this choice is not emotional weakness, it is emotional strength. This is not about proving love loudly, it is about living it responsibly. When someone chooses this path, delays become signs of depth, not hesitation. Now understand this clearly, because it explains the connection you still feel despite everything. When two people are aligned internally, distance does not weaken them, it sharpens awareness. Your person feels you in moments of stress, in moments of doubt, and in moments when pressure peaks, because you represent the reason they are enduring this transformation. They are not escaping family expectations blindly, they are stepping into their own identity consciously. This is why the bond feels different now, deeper, heavier, more serious, because it is no longer based on emotion alone, it is built on choice. They are choosing a future that requires effort, courage, and accountability, and they would not do that for something temporary. The surprise approaching you is not about dramatic revelation, it is about final alignment. When it unfolds, it will make others realize that this was never a phase, never confusion, and never rebellion. It was growth. It will answer questions without needing explanations and close doors that no longer deserve access. This moment will redefine how your person is seen and how your connection is acknowledged. What you are sensing now is the calm before permanence, the silence before clarity. This story is no longer about conflict, it is about resolution, and once resolution arrives, everything that felt uncertain will suddenly feel solid. There is a moment before every irreversible decision when the heart becomes quiet, not because fear disappears, but because certainty takes its place, and your person has entered that moment now. They are no longer rehearsing explanations or imagining arguments, because their mind has already accepted the outcome. This calm did not come easily, it was earned through sleepless nights, through emotional strain, and through the painful realization that living half a life is worse than facing full consequences. They have reached a point where pretending would feel like betrayal to themselves, and choosing comfort over truth would feel like a slow collapse. When someone reaches this clarity, they stop asking what they might lose and start focusing on what they refuse to lose, and that is you. This is why the connection feels stronger even in silence, because silence no longer holds confusion, it holds intention. Inside their family circle, the pressure has changed shape, because resistance has met something it cannot overpower. Your person is no longer reacting emotionally, and that has unsettled everyone around them. Calm confidence is harder to fight than emotional outbursts, because it offers no cracks to exploit. They are not raising their voice, not seeking approval, and not negotiating their future anymore. They are standing still while others move around them, trying to adjust to a reality they did not plan for. This is the phase where control shifts without announcement, because the one who stands firm without aggression becomes immovable. Your person has accepted that disagreement does not equal failure, and disappointment does not equal guilt. You may sense a strange mix of closeness and distance right now, and that feeling exists because the final step is near. Your person has withdrawn emotionally from chaos so they can step forward with clarity. They are protecting the moment that is coming, not hiding from you. They understand that once they reveal what they have decided, everything will change instantly, and that kind of change deserves preparation. This is not about fear anymore, it is about responsibility. They want the moment to arrive clean, firm, and undeniable, not rushed or reactive. This level of care only comes when the outcome truly matters. What they are about to do will remove ambiguity permanently. It will leave no space for speculation, misunderstanding, or denial. This is why the energy around you feels intense and focused, because when truth prepares to stand openly, it carries weight. Your person is no longer willing to live in between worlds, half loyal and half fulfilled. They have chosen alignment over acceptance, and that choice has already reshaped them. Once someone chooses alignment, the world around them must eventually adjust, even if it resists at first. This is the strength you are feeling now, quiet but unstoppable. When the surprise finally reaches you, it will not feel chaotic, it will feel grounded and real. It will explain every delay, every silence, and every confusing moment without needing justification. You will understand that nothing was accidental and nothing was wasted. This journey was necessary to reach a point where commitment could stand without fear. What is forming now is not just a moment, it is a foundation. And once that foundation is revealed, the story will no longer be about struggle, it will be about permanence. There is a point where waiting ends and action begins, and your person has stepped onto that line with steady feet and an unshaken heart. They are no longer preparing themselves emotionally, because that work is done, and what remains now is execution. This is the stage where decisions stop living in the mind and start taking shape in the real world, where intention turns into movement that cannot be ignored. Your person knows that once this step is taken, conversations will change, relationships will shift, and nothing will return to its old form. They are fully aware of the weight they are carrying, and still, they are choosing to move forward, because the cost of staying silent has become heavier than the cost of standing up. This is not impulse, this is resolve built over time, and it carries a quiet power that does not need validation. The surprise that is approaching you is rooted in this resolve, not in emotion alone. It is something your person has thought through from every angle, something designed to speak clearly without shouting, and something that leaves no room for interpretation. They understand that words can be twisted, but actions cannot, and that is why what they are about to do will answer questions without inviting debate. This is the kind of move that shifts perception instantly, because it reveals commitment through reality, not promises. People around them will realize too late that this was never a phase, never confusion, and never uncertainty. It was a choice quietly strengthened day by day, and now it is ready to stand in the open. You may feel your emotions rising as this moment draws closer, because your intuition is responding to alignment. When two paths finally meet, there is a pull that feels undeniable, and that is what is happening now. Your person is not rushing toward you blindly, they are arriving with clarity, stability, and intention. They want what comes next to be built on certainty, not chaos, and that is why everything has unfolded the way it has. This is the difference between attraction and commitment, and your person has crossed that threshold completely. What they are offering is not temporary connection, it is a future that has been chosen deliberately. As this unfolds, understand that the strength you see now was forged through resistance. Every challenge they faced strengthened their conviction instead of weakening it. They did not fight to win arguments, they fought to live honestly, and honesty demands courage when expectations stand in the way. This journey has reshaped how they see themselves, and that transformation is what makes what comes next so powerful. They are stepping forward as someone who knows their value, their direction, and their truth. When someone reaches this stage, their actions carry permanence. When the surprise finally reaches you, it will feel solid, calm, and undeniable. It will not arrive with confusion or hesitation, but with clarity that settles your heart instantly. You will understand that this was never about choosing sides, it was about choosing truth. Everything that once felt uncertain will align, and everything that once felt heavy will make sense. This is not an ending, it is a beginning built on courage, and once it stands, nothing will be able to shake it. Now comes the phase where reality responds to courage, because once a decision is lived instead of spoken, the world has no choice but to react. Your person has already crossed the inner boundary that most people never dare to cross, the boundary where approval no longer defines direction. What they are doing now is not dramatic or loud, it is deliberate and steady, because they understand that the strongest statements are made without chaos. This is the moment when plans move from intention into structure, where actions are placed carefully so that nothing can undo what is being built. They are aware that eyes are watching, questions are forming, and tension is rising, yet they remain calm, because calm is the sign of certainty. When someone reaches this state, they do not seek reassurance, they create reality. The resistance around them has started to shift into realization, because persistence changes perception. Those who once believed your person would bend have begun to sense that the ground has changed beneath their expectations. Conversations no longer revolve around possibility, they revolve around acceptance, even if that acceptance has not been spoken yet. Your person is not asking others to understand, they are allowing time to reveal the truth on its own. This patience is not weakness, it is confidence, and confidence is disarming. The family dynamic that once felt overwhelming has begun to lose its hold, because authority loses power when it is no longer feared. Your person has replaced fear with clarity, and clarity cannot be negotiated away. You may feel moments where everything seems unusually quiet, almost too still, and that stillness exists because the final shape is settling into place. This is the silence that comes before recognition, not before loss. Your person is aligning details, ensuring stability, and protecting what is about to be revealed from unnecessary interference. They want what comes next to stand strong even under pressure, because this choice is meant to last. They are not chasing emotional intensity, they are building emotional security. This is why the energy between you feels grounded instead of chaotic, because what is forming now is meant to support a future, not just a moment. What is approaching will not just surprise you, it will change how others view your connection permanently. It will close doors that no longer deserve influence and open space for a new chapter to begin openly. Your person understands that once this step is visible, there will be no return to uncertainty, and that is exactly why they are ready. They have accepted the responsibility that comes with choosing their own life, and that acceptance has given them strength. This is not rebellion, it is self-respect, and self-respect transforms everything it touches. When the reveal happens, it will feel like clarity rather than shock. You will see how every delay, every pause, and every moment of confusion served a purpose. You will recognize that nothing was accidental and nothing was wasted. This journey has been shaping something solid, and now that solidity is ready to be seen. What comes next is not fragile, it is rooted, and once it stands, it will stand on its own strength.